In this video, we see Paul Morphy's amazing game. This game was played in 1858 in Paris, in France. Paul Morphy play with white pieces and Adolf Anderssen play with black pieces. So Paul Morphy starts with e4, e5, f4, King's Gambit. E takes f4, King's Gambit accepted. Knight f3, g5, bishop c4, bishop g7, and the Paul Morphy castles kingside. d6, c3, open this diagonal. Knight c6, queen b3, create pressure on f7. Queen e7, support this f7 pawn. d4, a6, knight takes g5, and the pressure on f7. So Paul Morphy sacrifice his knight. So Anderssen accept the knight. Queen takes knight, and after moving queen, this f7 pawn is free. So Paul Morphy take this pawn. Bishop takes f7 and check. King d8. Bishop takes f4. Pressure on queen. Queen e7, and Paul Morphy can take this knight. So Paul Morphy take this knight. Bishop takes knight. Bishop g4. Knight d2. King d7. Create space for his rook and also create pressure on bishop. So Paul Morphy save his bishop on d5 and the pressure on knight and also on b7. Knight d8, support this pawn. Bishop takes b7, create pressure on rook. If rook move to b8 and pin this bishop, but queen a4 comes and check, and the king has only one move. And if black move his king, then bishop d5 comes and the king has only one move, king f6. Then bishop takes d6 comes and discover check comes by rook and discover attack on queen. So black would lose his queen. And if c6, then bishop takes c6 check, and after knight takes bishop d5, and this knight is pinned. So Paul Morphy could take this knight, but Anderssen exchanged his knight with this bishop. Knight takes bishop, queen takes knight, a5, bishop takes d6, and Paul Morphy sacrifice his bishop, and this pawn is pinned. But if black take this bishop with his queen, then rook f7 comes, and the Morphy could take this bishop. Continue with bishop takes d4 check, and sacrifice his bishop. C takes bishop. Black can't take this bishop with his king because checkmate comes immediately. And finally Anderssen take this bishop with his queen. And here in this position, pause the video and think. Paul Morphy's final move. Paul Morphy's final move. Rook f7 check, and after rook f7 check, Anderssen resigned here because Anderssen can't move his queen between rook and king. And if Anderssen move his king on e6, then checkmate comes in two moves. Queen b3 check, and king has no moves. So Anderssen has to move his queen between king and queen. And after moving queen, queen takes queen and checkmate. And if Anderssen move his king on e8, then queen takes rook check. And if queen comes to d8, then queen takes queen, and Anderssen would down in material. And also position is not good. And if Anderssen take this rook, Then queen takes rook comes and the queen supports this d4 pawn. So Anderssen can't take this pawn to create fork on knight. So black would down in material. So after rook f7 check, Anderssen resigned here. If you like the game then please subscribe the channel for watch more games.